Yo, what's up, YouTube? This is your boy Enrique, aka Big E's Comics, coming back to you with another LCS pickup. That's right, I can't say New Comic Book Day because it's for the second week in a row. I missed New Comic Book Day. Wednesday's becoming really, really tough for me to pick up my pull list because Wednesdays is usually very busy at work, and I just haven't had the chance. So I ended up just waiting till Friday, and today's actually a better day for me to pick up my books anyway because you know what, Friday's payday. So I think I'm gonna start skipping New Comic Book Day and just keep it on Fridays better. It works out better for me, because I can make the video with no pressure. Usually I'm off on the weekends, I only rotate weekends at my job once every 6 weeks. So I think I'm gonna keep it on. I'm gonna keep it for Fridays. Now it's a lot better, So this week, a lot of big things. End of Secret Wars. Walking Dead number 150. A lot of books. Big week for comic books. This weekend. I cut my pull list a lot, but by the pile that I have here, it seems like I didn't cut it at all. But I didn't spend much money today actually, because I had some coupons from last week. Remember I showed you those Bob Ross $5 coupons. I had 3 of them, so that's not bad. And my shop is really cool too. He gives you, on Wednesdays, just for New Comic Book Day, he gives you 10% off. He knows I missed it. He still gave me the 10%. So shout out to Comic Jones. They always looking out. And also I thought I had pulled away one of the books that I took off from my pull was in my bag. I decided to keep it because it was a variant. So how my store always, the variants are always cover price no matter what kind of variant it is. And as a matter of fact, that Walking Dead 150, the one retailer store, one per store, they gave it away for cover price also. So somebody got a great deal on that one. So that's cool. So all right, so now enough of me. Let's get on with the books. The moment of truth. See, Ray, Marty, and the moment of truth. I don't use the other saying anymore. So the first one here is Amazing Spider-Man 1.2. I know this came out, I think, last week, but because of the mix-up with Diamond, my store was affected, so I wasn't able to, it wasn't in my pull last week, so this week it was there. But the variant was there, but, this one is not an incentive or anything like that. It's just a regular, I think it's a B variant. The cover's done by Ryan Otley, so it's pretty cool that, they messed it up. I saw it in there, so let's just leave it. It's not a big deal, so I took it, but I did cut Amazing Spider-Man from my pull, so, just trying to minimize. All right, so that one. Then we have here All New Wolverine number 4. This is just the regular cover, and this series, man, really surprised me. I kept it in my pool. I really enjoy it. I remember before the all new, different Marvel, or people were too they were, what's gonna happen with the Wolverine issue, but it's been an awesome story, and I've been enjoying X-23 as a new Wolverine. I'm really happy with it. So that one is staying. I'm enjoying the story. All right. Next we got here Squadron Supreme number 3. Again, this one it wasn't one of the ones I originally was just gonna put on my pull list, but when I found out that they were gonna kill Namor, I wanted to read the story, so I ended up putting it on my pull list, and we're up to issue 3, and it's been a great story, man. I've been enjoying this a lot, and that's what Marvel is good for. If we haven't learned anything, we learned it from Guardians of the Galaxy. When that movie came out, Guardians of the Galaxy was what it was like. I would say it was a C team, not even a B team. Guardians of the Galaxy was a C team, and that movie elevated them to one of the top teams in the Marvel universe, and their books are amazing. books. They could they're bringing their unknown characters to life, just giving life all over again to Marvel. That's what they're doing with Squadron Supreme. No one cares about Squadron Supreme, but you know what? The amazing story and the artwork. That's just the regular cover there. And you have it's Alex Ross doing their cover. You can't go wrong with an Alex Ross cover. So, that's just my opinion. It's a really good story. If you haven't read, Squadron Supreme, I suggest you guys do. It's really good. So that was the regular cover, and then also I have the variant was in my pool. Now, again, I don't know if it's a 1 in 10, 1 in 25, because my store, they don't market their variants like that, so I wouldn't know. But I do know that this one the cover is done by Leonardo Kirk, and I believe it's just a regular variant also. It's just a second variant. I don't think it's unless it is, if anyone knows, you can let me know, but I'm not sure if it's a 1 in 10, 1 in 25, or anything like that. All right, that's a pretty cool cover too. It looks really good. I'm curious to read it. I can't wait to tonight dig into it. All right. The next, bam, Guardians of the Galaxy issue number 4. Arthur Adams cover again. Like this series, the only reason I picked it up was the first issue was because the Thing, the ever loving blue-eyed Thing, it's clobbering time. That was one of my favorite characters growing up, and when I saw him on that team, when I heard he was going to be in Guardians of the Galaxy, I was like, he really fits that team, because he's a pilot, he loves space, and Fantastic Four was one of my favorite groups growing up. I loved their books, and when the end with the whole shit with Marvel and everything, that really pissed me off. So when I saw him in that team, I got happy for it, so I gave it a chance, and the story's been a fun story. I love the story. Like I said before, Guardians of the Galaxy was a C team, and now they're top notch. So really happy with that. Next, I think this was one of the ones that came out last week also, but I got it this week. It was in my bag. This is Darth Vader number 15, the ending of Vader Down 6. Oh, look, I'm having a problem with the glare. Remember what I told you guys? Glare, no glare. Glare, no glare. I'm just playing, guys. So Vader Down Vader Down is officially over. That's the regular, Mark Brooks cover. I think he does the covers for it. And, again, this is, Star Wars and Darth Vader have been really good, but I'm not sure if I'm gonna keep them on there, just because of saving money, the first volume is done, Vader Down is done, and if I was gonna jump off of this, I think this is a good time to jump off of it, but I'm not 100% sure yet, because I've been enjoying these stories, and I just don't know. It's one I gotta consider. I'm gonna consider it over the weekend after I finish reading this issue. All right. So, of course, I got that one. And then in my bag was the variant right here. Bam. Now this one here, like I said, I don't know if it's a 1 in 10 or 1 in 25, but I do know that it's an incentive variant, and it was done by Francisco Francavilla. I actually wrote his name down because his last name is crazy. Francavilla. Yeah. It is an incentive variant, so when I saw it, on there, like my store they do tell me when it's an incentive variant or not, so that's cool. Happy with that. All right. Then next we got here, man, Secret Wars number 9, but I don't have the regular cover. Actually, the regular cover sold out in my store. This is the variant of it. This, as a matter of fact, this variant, I don't really like the drawing too much. The variant, who does this variant? I wrote it down too. Oh, this is was a Simone Benaki, but it is an incentive variant, which is pretty cool. And it's always good to have a nice, to get the incentive variants. You feel like you get your money's worth for them. But this cover, I don't know, I'm not feeling it too much. But what I am feeling is the story. I read this one. I read it digital before because I couldn't wait. When I knew it was coming out Wednesday, I looked it up right away online. And the Secret Wars #9. I'm telling you right now, the story finished really good, really, really uh ended well. If you guys, tell me how you guys feel about it and stuff like that. Maybe we should talk about it during Comic Talk. I'm definitely going to be on Comic Talk on Sunday with the Comic Book Fanatics and the rest of the guys. But the way it ended, man. Spoiler alert if you don't wanna hear if you haven't read it yet, but basically they left it open where they could bring back anybody they want to life, in a way. And it's just a very good ending. But I'm not gonna talk about it now because I know it just really, it just came out Wednesday. Some people haven't read it yet. But on Sunday we definitely gonna talk about it because I'm gonna bring it up. The storyline was that good to me that it deserves a discussion. All right, so now what we got here is bam. Walking Dead number 150, Betrayed. Actually, I picked up most of the variants for it, so they were at cover price. So, my store a month ago, they told me, 150 is in January. What do you want to do with 150? I said, you know what? Just give me how many variants? They told me there was 6 variants. I said, give me all of them, because they do my cover price. And $2.99, Image is killing with the $2.99. So, you can't go wrong. It didn't cost me nothing to have all 6 of these. So this is the blank variant. I picked it up because I do plan to hit up. I'm really trying this year to hit New York Comic Con. And my thing for New York is I don't own any sketch comic books, and I would love to have original sketches done on comics. So I have a few of them now that I'm planning to bring with me. And I know it's kind of pricey, but you know what? Pricey doesn't matter to me because I'm not rich by any means. I got 5 kids. I work hard. I work about 13 hours a day. But when there's something that you want, all you have to do is like Chris from We Love Comics always says, you just gotta want it and it'll happen. And once you want it, you make your way to do it. So I have already a little fund. I have my little envelopes that I divided. I have my little sketch fund. I got a little Hulk 181 fund, Amazing Spider-Man 129 fund, and I just, I just put a little bit in each envelope every time, a little bit. Every week, put a little bit. No matter what it is, it could be $5, it could be $3, it could be $10. Sometimes I could put 20. Doesn't matter what it is, but there's something put in those funds every week, a little bit at a time, man. By the time you know it, 3-4 months down the line, you got your things there, that it's just the way I do things. I just wanted to share that with you guys, so when you see things, sometimes if I'll get something big, it's because I've saved up for it, or I've, sold something that I've had that I don't need anymore, to get what we want. So all right, I'm sorry. I don't mean to keep going off of the topic of the books. So that's issue 150. That's a blank variant. So that's good to have. So I can get a drawing. Then we have this variant right here. This one, I don't like the, I wish we can sometimes, I could have seen what the variants look like before I order it, because I don't like it. To me, that's not Michonne the way they draw. I don't like the art style for The Walking Dead. I'm not too keen on it. So that's that one. So that's 2 of them. Then we have this variant right here. Bam. This is this variant now. This is Ryan Otley again. He did that Amazing Spider-Man 1.2 cover now, and he did this one. This variant, this sick ass cover right here. This screams Walking Dead. You can't. This, I think, to me, besides the Tony Moore cover, I think this one is one of the best variant covers for the issue 150. So we have that one there. And then this one here, this is the regular cover, Regular cover is good, it tells you what it is. Issue 150, it's an anniversary issue, and it's good. It's a good cover for it, I like it. It's pretty cool. But the best cover, so now, the moment of truth. That one right there, that's the homage to, issue number 1. Can't go wrong with that cover. This cover, they keep doing it over. Every few years, you'll see now that The Walking Dead, they'll redo the first cover because the first cover has become iconic already, and it's been homaged by other issues, and you just can't go wrong. Can't go wrong. Beautiful cover. Tony Moore, he didn't have to work hard to figure out what his variant was gonna be on this one. He just changed up, the older Rick now. This is the Rick from now. So that's it, guys. That's the books. That's what I picked up this week. No back issues. I didn't pick up any back. It was hard to resist, but you know what? You got to stick to, when you make yourself a plan, you got to stick to it, and that's the only way things get done, when you stick to your plan. So I didn't pick up any back issues because I do have some stuff coming in the mail, and again, I have another book working on the works. Actually, I have two books working from my list from 2016. I got two more working. One I will definitely have by the end of the month. The other one's gonna take a little time. The other one's a little, it's a little it's a big one. I would say it's one of the big three that's on the list, and just by the help of the community, it's gonna happen, and that's what this is. This is a community, and this is why we call it a community. A community, what do communities do? Communities help each other, right? So we can't use the word community if we don't help each other and we don't do things for each other. So I'm really happy that everyone is scratching books off their list. That's amazing to see that, and I'm just looking forward to the rest of the year. Just taking my time. I'm gonna take my time with the list. Spread it out. Like Chris, you already got, I see that you got your second list already, bro, and you're already working on it, so it's good, though. That Chris, that's your thing. That's what you do, man. You're the man for that. Also, Marty, I saw your video today, man. Your reaction was crazy. Your reaction was just well worth it, just that was worth it enough. Your reaction was freaking amazing, man. I was dying when I saw that video, and he put out a video of books that he would trade for and things that we need. And when I saw that he wanted that Superman second printing, and I was like, man, I think I had 3 copies of that, and I just, I didn't have them in near mint condition. They were, pretty much the one he gave them is the same condition as the one I have, here. And I said, I bought this back in the day, cover price. I could just give him this book. I didn't even want nothing for it. I just said, I'll give it to him. It's not a big deal. And then as I was digging through my boxes, when I picked it up, I saw that bondage cover, and I'm like, man, he's been getting into these bondage covers. And I feel like, I'll give it to him. It's not a big, to me, it was not a big deal at all. I just, he's military. I do a lot for military people. I hold them, I have a lot of respect for military people. I have family members in the military, and it's tough when you have, because when you're in the military, you could do a whole range of things. You don't know what they do over there. You don't know. And I do know some people in the military that have done some crazy stuff that, a lot of people won't do, and I hold them I have a high level of respect for them. So it was no problem giving him those books. It felt good, and he's a good guy. He's Marty and Ray, they both, some stand-up dudes, and in the short time that I've known them, it's been awesome. You know what I mean? So I felt good giving the book. I'm glad you enjoyed it, Marty. Enjoy it. I'm happy that you're happy. That was cool. And that's it, guys. I'll see you guys on Sunday for Comic Talk. I may have another video out tomorrow. I'm not 100% sure, but usually you see about 3 to 4 videos from me a week. This week is it depends. I have a couple of things planned that I want to show you guys, and I apologize. I haven't done any videos at my LCS, and he saw me today. He said, "Yo, you're not recording in the store." He was like, "What's up?" And I was like, he didn't know I was sick and all that, and I just got back to work. So, and every time when I went there today, I was kind of in a rush. I didn't really have time to sit there and record and do a video, but those things are gonna come. I'm waiting for. He's gonna have another event coming up soon, and there's supposed to be some writers coming there to do signings and stuff. So I'm definitely gonna do. I'm gonna go in there. We're gonna see some interviews and things like that. And that's it, guys. I don't want to keep you guys no more. I've been rambling and talking for the last, few minutes of this video. Remember, hashtag yeah the comic. And that's it. Until next video. Peace.
Just carry on, don't mourn, rejoice every time you hear the sound of my voice.